remember the fallen soldiers, and we're gonna go do some trail cleanup. So we're gonna click up with Tonto Recreational Alliance today. I kind of met this group, or found out about the group back in November, December-ish, and that's after I sent the truck to Utah, so I didn't have the truck at the time. But I did my orientation with the group, and just kind of been waiting for the truck to come back. I did attempt to make a trail organized event a few weeks ago, but things didn't work out and I had to pull out last minute. So this is the first time I'll be making my way out to an actual Tonto Recreational Alliance trail cleanup. Today I'm going to find out what trail we're doing. I believe we're going to do a map of a new trail. Not so much a new trail, but an old trail, but clean it up, check up on it, make sure it's in good condition, and if not, get it into good standing condition and go from there. So we're gonna figure all that out. Adding a little excerpt I was gonna add into this. Oh yeah, and some of the one of the fun things about today was always inspect your vehicle. That's gonna be today's theme. So I was looking at my rear diff this morning when I was loading up, and wouldn't you know it, I lost a few bolts. So we jerry-rigged it together real quick, and it should hold up because it's held up coming back from Grand Canyon. So once I get home, I'll do an assessment, give me some new bolts, and then figure out what happened, why the bolts backed out, and why am I missing 3 bolts. So we'll figure all that out later on this week. Toodles. Yo, what up, fellas? So we just finished our first run. 4 of us out here, 1 Land Cruiser, 1 Lexus, 1 Jeep, and me. We just popped out of TRAL FR534A. We started over by heading into Payson. I think it's the 93 or 83, I think it is. It's definitely, if you got a full size, it's a tight trail. Unfortunately, my GoPro was acting up this morning, so I couldn't get any footage. Wouldn't turn on, so I missed all the footage, but it was super tight, a lot of spots. When they talk about Arizona pinstripes, I thought I knew what Arizona pinstripes was, and this was a whole new level. I think we got underneath the fender on the right side, so there's we got pushed in a little bit, but I think the fender flare will cover that up. But yeah, super tight.
Like there's a connector between the two, so we don't have to get on the freeway, so I'm gonna try that.
Gunner.
I've done it in a side-by-side. Might be able to get through.
So we're going out to inspect our second trail.
I'll meet you where we come out of the shooting range road. Copy that.
Alright, take 3. So now we're going to this gun range. We're going to do some more inspections after doing 535A. So 535A, again, my GoPro wasn't working, so we had to make do with what we have, so we didn't get the footage of that. However, it starts off not too bad. The trail itself isn't bad at all. There's a difference between the Arizona pinstripes I was used to and the Arizona pinstripes that were in this trail. So we're checking up on the trail, doing maintenance on the trail, and just seeing the overall health of the trail. It is pretty overgrown. If you got a full-size truck, be ready for branches hitting your truck. I'm talking top of the truck, side of the truck, all parts of the truck. I did get into under my fender a little bit with something, a branch or something. I did push in the fender slightly, but the fender flare, when it goes back on, will cover that. I pulled off my fender flares because they started getting pulled off by the shrubbery. But other than that, it's not a bad trail. 535 and Payson, just outside of Payson, right before Rye. So between Rye and Payson. There's a nice little rocky section. You get some good flex out of there. And then coming back up, it is definitely more challenging, but it wasn't anything that you needed to muscle out of or do anything crazy to get out of. But yeah, so now we're getting ready to do the second inspection, second trail, which is out here by a gun range, off the same, I think we're out here by Round Valley, Forest Road 208, and there goes our trail leader, and we're about to get going. So here we are on the second trail, just the entrance. We turned off right by the Jim Jones shooting range. Forest Road to simply whatever's in that video. We're getting started to inspect this trail. Go from there. I think I've finished everything I want to say with the other trail. I mean, nothing too crazy. Just be ready for brush and scratches on the last one. This one, we'll see how this one goes. I did end up shaking my Ram Assist bracket bolts off again. So I think I'm gonna have to weld that bracket on because no matter what I do, Loctite with lock washer, nothing seems to solve the issue. And the biggest issue I think is just when you're trying to do any high speed is when I shake it loose, because yesterday when I was in North Rim, I do some high speed running. I think that shook all that loose. So I just gotta stop trying to be a fucking Ford Raptor or a TRX and just cruise and just flex the hell out of my shit. Because that's what this truck does. It's straight axle front and rear, disconnect sway bars. I do have the rear sway bar dropped, so I get the maximum flex. So just stick to what this truck is the best at, flexing. So yeah, I'll give you some updates as we hit this trail. Should be a little easier to control the steering wheel now that I have those. I put some bolts. I carry spare bolts on me, so I should be able to steer the steering wheel with one hand and do some recording. But I'll do little snippets when I find a section that's worthy of a snippet, because I missed a lot of good shots due to the Ram Assist not being there to help me out and steer the truck. So I had to muscle the truck through the last trail. All right, it looks like we're in the heart of it. It's going to be an out and back trail. We've already set up a few mile markers for the trail that branch off. There's some offshoots, and just need to mark the trail so that people who want to take this trail, I think it's we came in on 205 or something like that, and then now we jumped onto 435, and that's the one we're marking. But yeah, we're coming around a mountain ridge, the saddle. We started, if you look where we're pointed at right now, we started up on that mountain and we looped around this little hill here. And as you can hear, my voice get a little amplified because there's a tree hanging out there. Just to make sure my truck clears it. But yeah, we're coming back down. We're dropping down until it looks like a wash, and we come back into the side. But so far, fun trail, nothing too crazy. And fun as in like different, just the views, just in general. Like one of the reasons why I come out and like off-roading is seeing the different elements that you don't normally see where I'm from. So good stuff. Looks like you can see the Lexus up there getting a little flexy. We'll see if I need to drop in a four-wheel drive here, because I'm in two still. I don't think I do. It's just a little rock crossing. Let's hit this rocky section. Two-wheel drive. Come on, tires grip.
Well, I didn't see you behind us. Are you still with us? Yes, I am. I'm following. Okay. Oh, there you are.
A big ass heavy truck. Didn't want to do it in two, so we had to go to 4 because the tires wanted to slide out. I didn't carry momentum because I wanted to record instead of drive. So I lied a little bit, people. The trail that we're inspecting by the gun range is Trail 375, and I know that because we set up some mile markers. So yeah, I don't know what number I said earlier, but I think it's 375 is the correct one. Hopefully that's what I said before, and when I go back and watch this footage, I will know. But now we're riding the other side of the rock ridge, and here we got coming down as I hit all these bumps. Let's watch Steve go through this. Made it look easy. Now it's my turn. Recording over, because we got to go through this rock right here. So I'm gonna do a little voiceover here and kind of talk about this. I'm gonna insert a picture of a Jeep, the Jeep that was with us that day,
and I want to talk a little bit about this because it's kind of this moment and a few other things that happened during that day because this initial recording was done in 2021. This is the first time I'm bringing the truck out here to Tonto Recreation Alliance because I'm driving a big truck. Well, you can't do this. Just the same things that I've heard time and time again since the owning of this vehicle, from Jeeps, from Toyotas, from everybody that wheels Suzuki's. You have all these guys who wheel different platforms, and they all say the same thing: truck's too big, it's too heavy, it's this, and that. And that's the initial comments I got. And throughout the day, it's kind of things. Are you sure you're gonna do this? I mean, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't. At this point in time, I already ran full size Invasion in 2020 and 2021, and I already did Sand Hollow. I was everywhere already, California, Utah, um, doing things. So one of the things that turned me off here was this for this specific group because it I never I went back I think one more time and I kind of got the same reception the second time as well. Um, and so I haven't really at this from 2021 to now 2023. I never really went back to Tonto Recreation Alliance because the reception I got for driving a big truck. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the situation here in this Jeep. That's kind of why I'm putting the picture here. So we see where the video cuts off right there, there's that rock, and it's shelf road, and you have a 200-foot drop on the when you're going down, it's the passenger side. When you're coming up, it's gonna be the driver's side. Um, what I faced there that day was this yellow Jeep was behind me, telling me on the way back. One of the things he had mentioned was that I pushed a rock into the trail. Well, there's a rock you can't really tell right here in this photo with the Jeep because my big old booty's in the way. But there's a rock the wall of the trail. And going down, what I did is I stuck my driver rock slider onto it and shoved it closer to the rock wall that it slid down. And then coming back up, leaving the exiting trail, I did the same thing on the passenger side. I shoved the rock, and then my back tire got on the rock and climbed it. But I mean, it wasn't even that big of a boulder. Um, so if you look at the position of the Jeep, he's already sliding off the shelf road. Um, his statement to all of the guys, because they've wheeled together in the past, was that I did something that caused him to do this. And the reality of the situation is, he didn't. All he had to do was put his tire on the rock, and then, he would have cleared. His body would have cleared because it's a Jeep. It's small. It wouldn't have been that difficult. But he is. This is a newer Jeep, and you could tell that he liked his Jeep. And he didn't want to put too many scratches and all this stuff. He was a little more sensitive with his vehicle than a normal person who's coming out and doing this would do, or somebody who does um, recreational off-roading. I'd say is more like on a scenic level because there's different levels of people who off-road. There's people who just want to go out and enjoy the time and take photos, and then you got people who are willing to do a little extra and try and do something, or I'm saying, go do a hard rated trail. And I'd rate this gentleman and the photography scenery area. He did have a camera and he was out there taking photos and stuff. Um, but with that said, from here, this moment on, like the energy, our reception I was getting, like I'm just me, I'm friendly, so I don't care. I'm still gonna go out there and wheel, and that's what I did. And then, like, the first trail that we ran, they seen what I do, what I can do. The truck is, there's this section where we flex that, and they were questioning. I was like, I'm fine. The truck's fine. I'm on 40s at this point in time. I've already ran Moab twice already in Sand Hollow, so there's nothing here that intimidate. The only thing intimidating here was driving on a shelf road. Scared of heights, which I'm scared of heights, which if you see all the roads I drive on, you wouldn't think so. But I am scared of heights. But the truck makes me so comfortable that I'm able to do those things, just because the truck just feels so stable when I'm driving it. Um, so it was a little intimidating driving on a cliff face like that with the shelf rock that's loose, and when you get some of these turns, your back tires are sliding towards the cliff face. So getting to learn that experience, how to drive on those, and keep momentum and whatnot is a good experience. But yeah, so we're here where they're hooking up the winch to the Jeep to the back of my truck so they can pull the Jeep towards the trail and put it back on there. So what the guy ended up doing before I caught it, because once I got past the obstacles and get out there and guide him, and he had I'd say maybe 24 inches of space between him and the rock. So really, you position his tires 24 inches closer to the trail. He's on the trail still. Again, it's the what now I can put towards. the fear factor, the mental game of off-roading is, I don't want to touch the rock. Well, I mean, if you're going to be off-roading, especially if some of this like shelf road that's not maintained, you need to put your tire on the rock or even touch it. Just touch it with your wheel. I get it's a brand new vehicle, but you're out here like it's your safety versus the vehicle. What do you care? I mean, who cares about the value of the vehicle versus your life? You know, I mean, it comes down to who cares about um, the value of any vehicle. You know, and that's my mindset. And maybe not everybody thinks like that, but it's this moment really did set the tone for how I felt with Tonto Recreation License for the next 2 years, where I didn't really venture out with them because um, a few of the guys from this group I ended up wheeling again with later on, like I said, and I get the same tone, and it's like okay, like we hit a few trails already together. You've seen it, like we did a section by Pyatt draw together, and you're still saying the same things about my truck. It's too big and this and this that and all that other stuff, and it's like, all right, I mean the these kinds of individuals, you're never going to change their mind, and there's always going to be another trail that I have to do to prove to them. And then once I complete that trail, I'm about to do another trail and then another trail because it's never going to be enough, and I got to raise up the difficulty. And there's, I think, in my opinion, I've done enough prior to even me going out to this time, the first time that I went with trail, and any other time too, that I don't have to do that because I already put the truck through the ringer. Um, and I've done way more crazier things. The only thing that these areas have is the trees and then the brush. That's the things that are crazier in my opinion. But that's one thing I wanted to talk about there because you'll see the tone. I kind of trying to talk, and I'm trying to be nice as well because I do this is good stuff. I do like the idea behind it, the concept behind it, and then it's 2 years later. I'm going out there. I've the guys I'm hanging out with now in the Tonto Recreation Alliance, like, cause I'm assuming they break it up into different categories and who controls what, but the younger guys who are more my age, are more welcoming, and what I'm saying, they're like it's different because these guys, Travis and Richard that I've gone to these last few times. They want to see you. They're enthusiastic. Oh man, I want to see your truck do this. It's a different. There's a oh, I bet your truck can't do this versus hey, let's take your truck out here. I'm like hell yeah, let's go do it because that's where I'm at. Let's go do it. Like when we TRAL 42. Um, I think full size like Blazers I've done it in the past. I've heard, but nobody's really also like a big truck go through it. So, and they're excited to see me get through it. And going through it, we're pushing a fast pace. So, um, I think we're in a better position now, and I'll continue to volunteer with Tonto Recreation Alliance. But yeah, just some of the things you face, and for me, these are things that I've constantly faced with the platform that I will, which is a full size Power Wagon, and I'm always going to face that because that's just the way it is. Um, I mean, Jeep guys are Jeep guys, Toyota guys are Toyota guys, Suzuki guys, Suzuki guys. Every platform has their groups and they all have their thought process of why their vehicle is the best or why you can't do what they can do. And there's limitations to every vehicle, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's why a lot of people that I hang around with are I hang around with, I continue to hang out with them because they're good people. They don't care what you will. They just want to go out there and have a good time. And those are the kind of people that I want to be around. Doesn't matter what you drive, what you do. Let's go out and have a good time. And I'm gonna understand your skill set, whether you're ready for it or not. You know what I'm saying? Do you want body damage? Not body damage. Yeah, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we'll wrap that up. I'll wrap this up and then we'll continue with the video.
All right, guys. So, because my GoPros don't want to work, I wasn't able to get any of that footage. We got some really good footage, potential footage. So, the beginning of TRAL 375 isn't bad at all. But once you get past the power lines, you get super sketchy. It's like, because it's looks like it's rarely used. You got a lot of rock that's rolled off the cliff on a cliffside. So what do they call that? Like, they call it something like shell roads or something like that, or something like that. But anyways, you only have inches on the side of your tire, at least for my big ass truck. You're literally like, you have 34 inches of safety So you make a mistake, a simple mistake, and it costs you big time. So going down wasn't bad at all. I was able to navigate it and get myself out. But coming back around, one of the guys got behind me and was about 24 inches, because the passenger side, there's a rock you had to pass, which was closer to the cliff face, and you had to put your tire literally on the fucking the cliff to like about to slide off to get around it, and then just kind of like bump it. I used my slider. I was able to get close away from the cliff by shoving my slider into the rock and shoving the rock back. But the gentleman in the Jeep behind me, who's pulling gunner rear, on the way back up, coming up on that section, I made that rock easy. I bumped it again on my slider and shoved it out. Hopefully shoved it out of the way a little more. But I stopped because I knew I needed to spot the gentleman on the way down. So I went to spot him on the way up. But by the time I went to go spot him, his passenger tire was already sliding off. Driver side tire was coming off the cliff already. So we ended up having to hook him up to a winch. Because by the time I got to spot him and tell him to cut hard passenger, the truck, I didn't like the way the truck was reacting every time he touched the throttle. So we had to hook him up to my truck and put some pressure, winch him as he was coming up to get him off of there. But coming back into there was right after that section, after we got done winching him, literally the next turn, man, my GoPro decided not to work today. Both of them. The other one freaked out over the Grand Canyon, and then I switched to the second one, and that one didn't want to power on today. So I was like, man, what the shit? Shitty ass GoPro's acting up. Fuck, I'm missing all this good footage. This is like the dopest of the dope footage that I missed. But yeah, here we're mapping out on our way back. We're mapping out some of the offshoots for 375. Some of these trails are not marked. Well, this one used to be a well-maintained road, and so we're tracking it, and it's no longer maintained. But we had a split, so the group kind of split. I'm following Steve in the Lexus, and we have I forgot the gentleman's name, but he's in the 4Runner. He's out there mapping the lower end, and then once we get done mapping this trail to the end of it, whatever it is, see where it's at, we're gonna meet back up, and I think there's 2 more sections we got to map out, and then we'll come back. But yeah, overall, I'm excited. It's been a crazy journey today. All right, we're taking a little break. Let's talk about those 2 switchbacks. So those 2 situations I talked about, one of the comments made was that I knocked the rock into the road more, and I kind of want to talk about that a little more, because I did something on purpose, and because those 2 sections that switched back of that big boulder where I almost put my back tire off the cliff, and the gentleman put his front tire off on the rock after. Coming down, I was able to navigate that switchback without any issue, because I didn't notice. Maybe it's because I was closer to the rock coming down on the switchback. I was closer to the cliff face. I was able to get my tire close. But I seen that big boulder in the middle of the road, and that's another area where there's no room for error. So what I did is I got my front tires past the rock. Once I did that, I cut in hard to the cliff face, and I shoved my rock slider into the rock. And the objective I was trying to do is I was trying to push the rock into the cliff face more, because my rock slider does kick out a little bit, and then at the back end it kicks out another 2 inches. So with doing that, I don't know, I know I definitely bumped the rock and it probably moved. So if you weren't paying attention to what I was doing and you're behind me, it might have looked like I moved the rock into the road, but I believe I just tapped it and just rocked it, because even me going over that rock, I only had maybe an inch, and you're falling off the cliff with my front tires. So my objective was to try and shove it off the road. And the same thing coming back, when I was coming back up, I did the same thing. I shoved my rock slider. Once I got my front tires past it on the cliff, and I knew that was there, I shoved my rock slider again into that rock on the way up, and my back tire actually climbed the rock to try, you know, what I was trying to do is, because this is like, we're just mapping these trails that haven't been maintained a little while, just checking the health of them, cleaning out the brush and whatnot. My goal there was to try and shove the rock off the trail, to give you, anybody else coming that's not with the group or whatever it be, whatever reason people come down here, give them opportunity to not have to face that obstacle alone or whatever. So that's just something that I just wanted to talk about a little bit and what I was doing, and also just talk about like what I do, like usually, because I got a long truck, I don't have a short wheelbase like a Jeep or these Lexus out here, or these 4Runners. So what I do is I get my front tires past an obstacle, and then I shove my rock sliders into them, or like in this scenario, I shove my truck into the trees. Or what I do is I get past the obstacle and I let my back tire climb. So my front tires won't be climbing whatever it is, rock or whatever. But when I cut in, I cut it enough to put my back tire right over it, and get over the obstacle that way. Because I got a long boy, so I got to make sure this long boy can get over some of these obstacles, and that's what I do. So now we're exiting. We just wrapped this up. This is the trail by, was it Tom Jones or something like that, shooting range. So was it 205? We took route 205 and then we connected to 375 and went and mapped out 375. We did some offshoots, some admin routes. Admin routes being routes that like power line companies take to manage their infrastructure. So we're going to manage those, map those out, make sure those are in good standing, so when power line companies need to come work or whatever they got to do, it is well maintained and marked and they know what to do. And people who are off-roading just for recreation have mile markers to stay off the admin roads and stay on the trail, because you really don't want to go and mess up. You really don't want anybody going onto the admin roads and doing burnouts, donuts, and all that shit, because then it fucks up the path for the electricians coming out just to do work. So, you know, and this is something I didn't understand before. I used to see like blocked off sections by power lines, you know, and there's some good obstacles by power lines. I think a good option, one is like Cleghorn in California that I'm aware of, because you know, when you start putting big ruts and whatnot, and somebody has to come and not a so fixed up off-road vehicle like these trucks are, it ends up making the jobs a little more difficult. So it's cool to see this side of the things in perspective and be a part of this. There's gonna be some more Tonto Recreational Alliance runs from me in the future. We're gonna get a CB radio. We're gonna do some changes to the truck too, get it more volunteer friendly with this group, as far as where it needs to be at, like the CB radio, and I might do a few other things to the truck. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas in my head right now, and got a lot of work. But first things first, we're gonna go get a job. I got 2 interviews, so we're gonna go knock out those 2 interviews tomorrow and the day after, and see if I get me another job. If I get me another job, then I can buy more stuff for the truck. Yeah, so overall it's been a good time. I enjoyed it. It's definitely I was expecting this to be like mediocre, or not so much mediocre, but easy. And what I got was in the first route, it's just super brushy, nothing too crazy, nice little obstacles, not even obstacles, just nice little terrain to go over and flex the truck, but shove it in some deep brush. And then this one, 375, got really good on the shelf rock, whatever the fuck they want to call those roads, where you only have inches and no room for error. So it was exciting. I'm gonna go mess around with my GoPros once I get home, see if I can figure out why they're not cooperating, or why they're not turning on, why they're not taking a charge. So next time I can record the whole trail and get you the exciting moments and actually get you my reactions in the moment when these things happen. Because we're on we're racing the sunlight now, I didn't stop and get any footage of the actual obstacles we're doing, because we're pushing through. We're just trying to knock it as much as we can, as fast as we can. So once we got done, we hopped in the trucks and boogered on up. But yeah, it was definitely fun. especially like I said on that shelf, because fucking there's a few times even going down where I'd bump a rock on the passenger and driver tire, and the whole truck would just shift to the cliff. Like it felt like, you know, I'm probably exaggerating. It's probably only like an inch or two, but when you're inside the truck, it feels like the whole truck shifted like 6 inches to the cliff, and I'm like, fuck, turn the wheel all the way to the right or all the way to the left. So this is a good time. So it looks like we're gonna probably stop somewhere up here and do some air up, and then call it a day and start trekking home. But it's been a blast. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. Unfortunately, it's all done through cell phone. I got a carry it in my hand, so you're gonna be like all disoriented and sick because it's rocking back and forth because I'm carrying in one hand and driving with the other. But yeah, there'll be more of these runs in the future, and hopefully by then I'll have my GoPros operating and we get much better content. All right, take care, guys.